This episode is brought to you by Pause, Breathe, Reflect, the app that can help bring more mindfulness to your everyday moments. Imagine what would be possible if more people could live more mindfully.
Hey there, it's Michael. Welcome to the Kintsugi Podcast, a show for perfectly imperfect people everywhere. So how are you doing? For reals, really, how are you doing? Because if you've had one heck of a week, or maybe it's been a collection of weeks, I've got you. I feel it too. I've had my moments of anger, my moments of worry, and all the different feels in between. So if you're there as well, I will say congratulations, my friend. You are officially human. The thing is, the people who are trying to divide us for their own gain, for their own wealth, they're hoping we run out of energy, that we tap out, we give up, tune out. That's the last thing we should be thinking about doing. And in many ways, the reason why we're in this mess to begin with is that we weren't paying attention. We had tuned out, or maybe we had tuned in to what was on social media. We were chasing the shiny objects because we wanted to be entertained, which is normal. That's human as well. So I have felt all the different feelings. I've had moments where I've been pissed off and irritated and angry based on what I've seen. But I also know this over the years, that anger is neither good nor bad. It's simply an emotion. It's energy. But as an energy source, it's a fast burning fuel. It burns bright, but not that long, unless we allow it to. And then if we do, then we just become that angry person in the neighborhood. It becomes our identity, part of our personality. But I don't believe that that's what's within us. No, within us, I believe there's compassion and kindness and love. And as energy sources, these are better. They burn over the long haul. They create real change. But boy, they are so hard to do, especially when there's so much coming at us. There's so many reasons to be angry or worried. And I've had my moments of pure anxiety, wondering, where are we going? How does this all end? So I keep on coming back to our practice of pausing, breathing, and reflecting. And when I go out and speak about it, I often recommend to people, try to do this as you start off when times are good, when there's less friction in the system. Boy, do I long for those days. Because so often we use practices like gratitude or meditation when times are tough, but these practices are really valuable when times are good because they help us build a habit, a way of living. So when times are rough like they are right now, we can tap into them more easily. But we don't have a luxury of deciding when to start sometimes. We need something right now. So let's do this. Let's take one big, healthy, generous breath in together and a releasing breath out. So wherever you happen to be, breathe in through your nose. Notice your lungs expand, and then release the breath when it feels right. Just let it out. Relax a little bit into this moment. These brief moments, just one breath. It's one step, and one breath matters. It's one action we can take to create some space so we can be thoughtful. We can reflect on how we want to show up. We can reflect on what we wish to look at. Where are we placing our attention? Because ultimately, we go where our eyes go. And this gives me hope. This whole notion of what we pay attention to gives me hope. So I try to find moments where I connect with my breath, but I also try to seek out things that are good in the world as a way to counterbalance all the chaos, everything that's just simply bananas. Small moments, like how the cardinal and the blue jay at our bird feeder, they dance together when I'm having my morning toast. Or last night when I took the dogs out for the last time, and I looked up at the night sky and I saw this big, gorgeous moon. Or this morning when I let them out for the first time, I saw this beautiful sunrise with hints of peach and yellow. Pink gave me a chance to connect with Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Or last night, coming home from the grocery store, I had moments at the store, actually 3 different moments when someone asked me to reach up to the top shelf because I'm a tall guy to grab something, and their smile as a way of thanking me for my assistance. That just brought together a bit of connection. Or that time where I let the guy merge into traffic and he waved back as a thank you, because I'm a big, after you merge, you should wave kind of guy. Those little moments give me hope that we haven't lost all sense of decency, that we can still connect and see each other. I also look at other moments in nature, like when the local fox are fox in our neighborhood dances on the new snow that's fallen, or when one of our dogs, her name is Story, plays out in the snow. And I wonder, like, what does she make of snow? Like, what does she thinks it is? All I know is that she has a ball in it and she wants to play in the snow all the time. And her joy brings me joy. It's these little moments that give me some reprieve from the stress and the chaos of this given moment. I also have faith in all of us because I see people out there fighting, people who are protesting, people who are marching, people who are making calls. That's one thing I'm trying to do is make 5 calls a day. And I haven't been consistent, but I try my best. Or people trying to put their voice out into the town square, like I try to do with this podcast or through my writing. So people give me hope. And even the people who might be fighting against this hope, I still believe, maybe naively, that there's still goodness within them. Deep within them, there's still love. And there's a way to get to that. Maybe not today, maybe not next week, but I have faith that over time we can get there. We can reach these people. So we can create a better system for all of us, not just some of us. So I'm reminded also to have a strong back and a soft front. As I've shared over the last several weeks, I've tapped into Rumi's poem, The Guest House, often so far this year. Every day a new arrival, every day a new moment. Meet them at the door laughing. So with this soft front, this open heart, I try to take in all that I see, even though I don't want to see it all. So I stay vigilant. So I know what's going on. I'm paying attention. I'm not tuning out. I want to stay in it. But with my strong back, I can stay grounded. I can resist the urge of getting pulled into the vortex of personalities because it's not about the personalities. That's an easy thing to grab onto. What I'm trying to focus in on is how do I show up for the common person? Because as they deal with the downstream impact of all the craziness that's happening in the world, I know they're consumed by just trying to survive, to keep everything afloat. So if I have some bandwidth to put a message into the world to fight back and resist the urge to get sucked into the vortex, I'm going to try to do all that I can to do just that. So again, I go back to my practice. I pause, I breathe, I reflect. I create some space because that space allows me to see what's good in the world. That space also allows me to set my intentions on how I wish to show up. What kind of ripple do I wish to put into the world today, Michael? Gives me a chance to ask that question. And so I encourage you to do the same, is to come back to our practice of pausing, breathing, and reflecting. And also find community. We don't have to travel this journey alone. We can do it with like-heartedness that is open to different-mindedness. We can step into that. Together we go far. I believe this in every cell of my body. It's how I made it to this very moment because I feel like I'm in bonus time. Coming off of my accident, my near-death experience, I realized that indeed together we go far. I'm only here today because of all the people who also decided to ride with me when I was at my low point. So right now it feels like we're at a low point. So we need to rally around each other to make sure that we're okay, to ask that question, how are you doing? And then asking the next question, no, for reals, really, how are you doing? That's how we connect with each other. That's the start to create the type of Kintsugi art I believe we're capable of making. As always, thanks for carving out some time to join us here on the Kintsugi Podcast. Until next week, let's celebrate our scars as golden symbols of our strength and resilience. I'll talk with you then. In the meantime, remember that I love you.
This episode is brought to you by Pause, Breathe, Reflect, the app that can help bring more mindfulness to your everyday moments. Imagine what would be possible if more people could live more mindfully.